Hello. Good evening, everyone. Are your withdrawals so bad you started over at book 1? Is that where?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Well, happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to our real night. Is that what we're calling it?
Real.
For
I thought it made us sound sophisticated if we called it a reel instead of
Lord, we need
a
all
movie.
the help we can get with that.
Yeah.
Certainly. What are we watching tonight? Galaxy Quest.
Which
I love.
Wait. I was gonna say. Oh, okay. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say I love that you put up 1999.
Yeah, I was gonna say Galaxy Quest 1999.
I was a teenager when this came out, and that was still a very long time ago.
26 years ago. It was 26 years ago.
It's fine. We're good.
Oh my God.
And you know what? I was trying to figure out the last time I saw this movie. I think it was, hey Glenn. I think it was like 2000.
Oh shit, that's funny.
It's been a very long time. Very long time. Oh, is it Y2K again?
I know, right? I remember when Y2K hit, I was at a friend's house and I was sitting next to his dad on the couch and I was like, that's it? And he thought that was the fucking funniest thing he's ever heard. And for the next 15 years that I still lived up in New York, every time he would see me, he would tell that story every single time I saw him.
That's hilarious.
But I have more than just withdrawal for having this book out and reading it. Our friend Jordan Reynolds, who does the Soundscape of Time, the Wheel of Time soundscapes, where he puts the audio and he takes the audiobooks and puts like a soundscape behind it. So if there's horses walking down the street, you get the clopping of the horses and like the crunching of the gravel and lightning storms and people singing and swords clashing, and it's really good. It's really, really good.
That's another really good one.
Oh my God, Deuce Bigelow.
I have not seen that one since probably 2002 or 3.
For real. But he's doing on Robert Jordan's birthday, he is doing a Wheel of Time reading day, where he's going to do it like a very long stream. I forgot how long it's going to be, but he's going to have basically read through a bunch of the books. And I read a chapter out of The Eye of the World for that. So.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. It's the meetings at the Eye. One of the later chapter, like the last few chapters of Eye of the World. It had Agonor's in it, and I did an Agonor voice, so that should be fun. I did some voice.
Will you do it for us now? Just a little bit.
Hold on, let me grab one of his lines. Yeah, let me grab one of his lines. Hold on, it was 684 is the chapter. Where is it? I was gonna not do it, and then I was listening for the Michael and Kate timing, and I heard Michael's voice. I was like, I could do that. So this is just as they get out, and Matt's like, no, the Forsaken, Matt said hoarsely, are bound in Shale Ghul. And then, we're bound, Agonor said. His yellow teeth had the look of fangs. Some of us are bound no longer. The seals weaken, and eyes Sedai. Like Ishamael, we walk the world again, and soon the rest of us will come. So anyway, that's the voice that he did. That was the voice that he did. So I was like, I can copy that.
What's up, Rosa? That was good.
It's not good. It's not good. But you know what is good?
It was funny.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take funny. What is good is our two very good dear friends whose faces I missed terribly this weekend, even though only one of them got to go to JordanCon, but I still miss them. So instead of not being able to see them this weekend and we have the power to do this, I was just like, come and hang out with me on this show so that we can see your faces. Let's see who it is.
Look, here comes an awesome guest.
Yay! The lovely and gorgeous Sargon Donabed and Redfield, professional cosplayer extraordinaire. Sargon, you're muted, by the way.
Again.
It's just safer that way.
That's fair. That's fair. Redfield, she has what was it, to 2023 Fan Expo? You won the international cosplay tournament.
Yes. Yep. 2023.
International cosplay tournament champion.
Yes, for the Fan Expo circuit. And that was in Canada. I was the Boston qualifier. Then they set me up into Canada.
Ah, God. Your it's a Warhammer 40K costume.
Yep. And actually this kind of goes into what I'm doing the end of the month. Well, May. I will be at Philly Fan Expo judging their first qualifier for the Fan Expo circuit.
Ooh.
So Ben is going there. I'm making a mini Ben, like I'm updating mini Ben, so Ben can go to Philly.
Oh, okay. I thought you retired Ben.
I'm not wearing him in Philly.
Oh, okay. There's the costume, by the way.
Wow.
I'm not wearing him in Philly. He's going to be in the showcase.
Oh, okay. I got you. Cool. I wanted to see if I can if you had a picture. There we go. This is your Instagram, but there's a good pic. There's a good shot of you and to see how big the costume actually is. It's huge.
Yeah.
Look at that. I love the hammer that you got too there. Your little cane.
I love my cane.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm sad that I can't, when it's all set up, I can't take any pieces off of it. But I want like half of it to walk around in on Saturday after I'm judging. But
Awesome.
stuck there.
And then our lovely Dr. Sargon Donabed down there is a fantastic academic at Roger Williams University. I remembered it this time. I'm always like it's a university. It's in New England. Fuck.
And usually
Aaron
saves us in the comments.
Yeah. But I remembered this time. See, you only got to remind me like 6 or 7 times, and then eventually I remember.
It's totally cool. Thank you guys for having me. It's great to be here.
Always
exciting. I guess I am just off Jordan Con and. Back in Boston, it was freezing the first day I got back. But I mean, because Atlanta's always warm, so in comparison to Boston. But it was nice. It was nice to see folks. I dearly missed Tom and Aaron, and wasn't the same without you, man.
I love you. I know.
Love you too.
It was a hard decision to make not to go to JordanCon this year, but. Honestly, just with WattCon, and then we're going to try to get back over to MalkirCon in Prague. It's it's not in the pocketbook.
Very little is these days.
Yeah, Glenn, the geeky hippie asked, what is hippie? That's what it is now. For you, got to change it, Glenn. What's Sargon's degree in? Hold on, let me see if I remember. Now, it's a history degree, right?
Kinda.
It's specifically, isn't it? Well, it's not history, but isn't it like ancient cult? It's something to do with ancient cultures in the Middle East.
I mean, so I do. So my degree is in Near and Middle Eastern civilizations. The department I was in was the Department of Near and Middle Eastern Civilizations.
Okay.
Which did both ancient, it did ancient, medieval, and modern. It ran the whole gambit of everything. I ended up doing continuity analysis between ancient, from the ancient to the modern period of Mesopotamia. So I looked at Assyrians through the ages, and then I looked at more of the modern stuff. I did a bunch of work in the ancient world, a bunch of medieval, and then you had to sell yourself as a modernist, at least when I was coming out, because there just weren't a lot of jobs. I mean, there still aren't a ton of jobs, but it's really hard to get a job in the ancient world. So I realized I could adapt pretty quickly to modern stuff. So, so I moved over to the modern Middle East, and I've been doing that. And then now I've been doing this stuff in academia, which has been really fun.
Yeah. He's been recruiting the next generation of college graduates to our little book cult. I mean, club Tom.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I've got to work with some wonderful people. And since I met Tom and Aaron, I don't know, it's got to be like 10 years now. at Jordan Con, and met a few folks at Dragonmount years ago, like David Coe, who's a phenomenal fantasy author. And I got to see him, for years going to Jordan Con. And then through Tom, I got to meet Redfield and be on a panel, which was fantastic.
Up in Boston.
At Fan Expo Boston, which was great. And I got lucky. I've been going back to Fan Expo Boston too for the last, I don't know, like 5 years, and giving, we've been doing panels with students. I do panels with my friends that I play soccer with.
That's fun, man.
Wow.
It's amazing. I've been so lucky. I definitely am extremely lucky to be able to do that.
Talking about nerdy shit, just like for funsies.
And then I can call up Tom and say, Tom, I don't know what's going on, but it's just me and you on a television. What are we going to do? And then he goes, oh, hold on a second. Let me call, Redfield. My buddy's up in Boston. He needs help on a panel. Can you get on? Go.
That is pretty much what I did. That's pretty much what I did.
I think the first time I just ran up to the screen, I was like, "Hi, Tom, what's
up?" That just shows we're everywhere. The Wheel of Time fandom is everywhere. We permeate the substructure of every other nerddom. Speaking of every other nerddom, though, we're going to be. Oh, hi!
There she is.
We're going to be watching a sci-fi show tonight, or movie.
I mean,
comedy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge sci-fi guy. I'm not what people commonly refer to as hard science fiction. But I I guess you would call it a space opera. I feel like Star Wars is more of a fantasy. What is it? Is that the flux capacitor? Yes, it is Marty. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fantastic. Okay, it's Marty and Doc. That's great. But I feel like Star Wars is more fantasy than science fiction, and even Star Trek, to a degree, is not hard science fiction as some of those books that people label as hard science fiction.
Totally.
Oh no! Well. The movie's an hour and 47 minutes, so I'm sure you could come in at some point when you get home if you can. But we'll miss you if you're still on the train, buddy. Just get home safe. That's our resident gnome. So I did do I did make an appearance at JordanCon this weekend though I couldn't be there physically. The guys over at Twatcast did a panel where they were basically they were doing the dating game, but Wheel of Time. Maria was the woman looking for a date, and then there were several of us that played characters from the books, and basically the game was based off our clues that we gave. Maria had to guess who the characters were.
And you were obviously Agenor, so.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Actually, no, I did do a voice for the character that I was too, and it was completely not planned. It just happened while I was recording it, and I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna all right, cool, I'm gonna do that. So I have a clip of it. So here, hold on.
Oh God.
You might say I've broken a few hearts. Raided a few pantries and broken more rules than the White Tower's got skirts. Loyalty is overrated, unless it's to gold or a good time. And trust me, ladies,
was he a
my
leprechaun?
blade isn't the only thing I kept well oiled and ready.
Oh God!
And just between you and me, I've got a bit of a dark side. But hey, don't we all?
You were just a leprechaun.
Sure, mine might involve clandestine.
All right.
Hey, no, Polly, go back.
Yeah. I was Dave Hanlon, the dark friend who masquerades as the one of the leaders of the Queen's Guard under Ravine.
Oh my God.
And everyone thinks impregnated Elaine. Spoiler.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my character. At one point, I did call Maria a bint and a milksop. So that was
Ooh.
Wow.
How dare you? How
I
dare
know.
you speak to her that way?
Dylan Millar or Dave Tenlin.
I was going to
that
say,
was
were
his other
ankles
one.
involved?
There were some ankles. They got
Nice.
broken mostly
Oh,
because apparently I was in the Irish Mafia
yeah, you were.
or the IRA. I don't know.
You
It
were
was-
just a leprechaun. You were just
That hat was sitting. The hat is sitting right here. So like I had the hat there, and I was reading. Oh, I know when it happened. I did like a little intro, and I said, "Oh, Jono and Joe O'Hara." And that, like when I said Joe O'Hara, I went Joe O'Hara, and I was like, "Why did I do that?" And then that's how it started. That's how that accent started. Okay, I'm thoroughly embarrassed now. Anyway,
That was awesome.
I got a shit ton of text messages like at around like 10:45 on Saturday night because that was when they did the panel, and that was funny. Anyway, we're gonna watch Galaxy Quest though, and not anything science fiction tonight because that's what y'all voted on. Y'all picked Galaxy Quest. We put it to a vote, and that's what the people picked.
because of Alan Rickman.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I love Alan Rickman so much. Oh God. And you know what? Let's get everyone ready to get queued up for the movie, and then we can chat a bit more, and then we'll get the movie started. So I'm gonna start our little watch party as per usual with Teleparty. So tonight we're going to watch on Pluto, is the streaming platform, Pluto.tv. So I'm just going to refresh this page. Pluto.tv is free. So if you don't have Pluto, if you're afraid, like, oh, I don't have that, you do, because it's free. We're just going to get a bunch of
You have
ads
to
while we're
sign
watching
in
it.
though. So if anybody needs time, you do have to give them an email address and stuff.
Yes, you do have to sign in to Pluto TV. So if you don't have an account, that's what our little break right here is for, so that you guys can click on the link and get all ready. So I'm just making sure I have the control so that no one does anything silly. Okay, I got our link. I'm going to post it in our chat here. So for our guests, there's a private chat on the right-hand side of the window, and you can click on that and go to the link. And for our viewers, the link is now in... Wait a minute. What? Erin,
Never? Okay,
How is
there are so many movies she has not seen. You have to work on it.
How? Okay, yeah, but like, how have we been together for 16 years and I haven't made you watch, or 17 years now, this November, and not made you watch Galaxy Quest? What? I am a failure. I feel like I've failed as a husband.
So much disappointment.
And as a friend, I'm disappointed. All right, I posted the link. Everyone can start to get that figured out. Yes, you do have to sign in. I know, Rapunzel, right? Like, what the hell? Yeah. How did you manage that, Aaron? I'm seriously disappointed with both of us. I am too, buddy. I am too. Anyway, yeah, I love Galaxy Quest. Honestly, the only thing I'm not a huge fan of is Tim Allen. Like, I've never really liked Tim Allen, and then
he was not problematic back. I mean, he was problematic back then. But we were wildly ignorant to the fact that he was.
That's true. I've never really liked him, but then when I saw the people that were offered the role and turned it down, I was extra sad. So Steve Martin was offered and turned it down. Alec Baldwin. I mean, I like Alec Baldwin. He's problematic too, but he's not that bad. And Kevin Kline. But I think it would have been great as Steve Martin. I think he might have been more of a Picard than a Shatner.
Yeah.
But I would have really liked Steve Martin. I think that would be cool. That's true. I don't think it's possible to have seen it and not remember either Norman Garden. A lot of homages to other movies, a lot of homages to Star Trek, and even some other fantasy properties. I got those written down from my little bit of researching that I did prior to today. Are either of you guys fans of like Star Trek or Star Wars or any of the big science fiction properties?
I mean, I definitely have some costumes of it, but I don't think I am as big a fan as like my husband is. I kind of got it through osmosis. Like I can talk a good game, but like we get deep in the weeds and I am lost.
Yeah.
Speaking of, hold on, I gotta find your Star
That is really
Wars
funny though, because
costumes.
that's me and my husband too. Like he is much more into Star Wars, like all of Star Trek, and I know just enough to get into a conversation and then be like, oh shit, don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Back away, back away.
Well, if it makes you guys feel any better, we did with my little ones. We decided to eventually show them. We haven't done Star Trek, but we started doing Star Wars. But for some reason, I started with the Jar Jar Binks Star Wars.
No,
I don't know. I don't know why I did it. We did. And we went through 1 and it was like, oh, okay. They went through 2 and they were like, okay. They got to 3. And for the rest of that month, they had nightmares because of Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, at some
I can
point
see
they looked at me and I had to say, yep, he just committed genocide against a bunch of younglings. Yep.
Yes, he did kill a bunch of children. He did do that.
I mean, they kind of got it when he came in with glowing eyes and the kids were like, you know, and
yeah. The
very scary.
The sequence I've seen and I really like, I forgot his name, the guy that does Darth Maul's voice in Witwer, Sam Witwer. He's a very prominent voice actor. If you Google him, you'll be like, oh my God, I know 25 things that he's done.
Yeah. He was in Smallville. He was Doomsday in Smallville.
Yes. He's been many things.
Sorry.
So many things. I love Smallville. You know. The color of your hair belies your true age. But he said his feelings are you should always start people off with the Clone Wars cartoon. Well, kids with the Clone Wars cartoon, because it not only is it a cartoon made for kids, but it makes kids care about Anakin so much more.
Yeah.
And understand him so much more than in the movies, because like you see him briefly in these movies and you don't really get any attachment to him, and then all of a sudden he's Darth Vader. But like for a kid, the build is so much bigger, and you go from the Clone Wars TV show to the original episodes 3, 4, 5, A New Hope, Empire, and then Return of the Jedi, and then they find out Anakin is Darth Vader, and they're like, what the hell, Anakin's Darth Vader? Because the whole time they're watching it, they're like, oh, Darth Vader killed Luke's father, Anakin.
Yeah.
Then you show them the prequels, and they're like, oh my God, there he is. Because they know the whole time, but, you know.
You're just making me feel worse about it.
It's fine. It's fine. Did you at least, did you introduce Avatar: The Last Airbender to them good, at least?
Oh my God, they loved it. But I felt bad because they went through, I mean, they've rewatched portions of Avatar, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, you know, kind of like I do with Cobra Kai. But they went through Korra, which I now, like in retrospect, I might have told them to wait a few years if I had been realizing a little bit more. I don't know. I feel like they got into it like as we were kind of pulling out of COVID, and I was kind of like, oh, I love Korra. And then I watched a couple episodes with them and I was like, oh, this is a bit darker than I remembered. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was definitely darker.
It's a little adult. It's a little adult.
Yeah. The writers. Yeah. Well, and then, you know, Korra's in her 20s. So she's dealing with things that, you know, 13, 14, 15, 12 and 12-year-olds don't need to deal with. But the writers originally wanted the show to age with the original audience. So like the original audience of the show was meant to be, you know, I think 12 through like 15, 16. So like they would be in their mid to late 20s, and that's what Korra was. So. But still a great show. I loved Korra. I'm excited for the next one. Yeah, the next one is in the works.
Coming out with more.
Wait,
so
really?
Yep. The original creators. So for those who don't know, the original creators of Avatar: Last Airbender, like the two original writers, have their own studio now called Avatar Studios. It's a subsidiary of Paramount, I think, is the company that owns Nickelodeon. And they were given complete creative control, and they're like, go do everything you want to do with a huge budget. And they're making the next thing to come out is going to be a movie, a standalone theatrical movie. It's going to get released in the theaters.
Yeah.
And I think it's Legend of Aang.
Ooh.
It's what?
The Legend of Aang. And it's going to be the kids, but they're in their like 30s. And it's like,
oh,
it's going to be the group Team Avatar, but in their 30s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
and then
really
they're
cool.
back to different avatars, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
then
they're
they're
coming
doing
out with like designs of the other avatars.
Yeah. The next avatar in the cycle after Korra is going to be, I think they're calling it Seven Heavens.
No, I thought they were going backwards. It's Earth, isn't it?
No, it's the next avatar after Korra.
Oh, after Korra, okay.
Yeah. It's called Seven Heavens, and it's going to also be kind of dark, but it's not like R-rated. It's still going to be PG for kids on Nickelodeon.
Can't we just get some vanilla? Basic?
It might not be. I'm assuming it's going to be dark because of the setting, but it might not be. A lot of the feedback that they got from the live action stuff and Korra was the playfulness and the mirth of the original series just wasn't. It was something that people really loved, and I feel like they'll probably go back to it, but still with. I mean, even the original series had a lot of through lines of darkness in it. Like especially like
Not
whatever it was episode. Yeah, that's fair.
No. I get why we think that sometimes, but man, I tell you, I want them to have a little bit of the innocence left, and just a little bit, because they're just bombarded from every which way right now with so much information. Like all they need to do, and I say this as someone who does not, my kids don't play on devices and stuff like that. They can work a device better than any other adult I've ever seen, and they don't allow. They have no set. Like they're not allowed to use it, but they somehow, if they take it, they're like.
They come out that way. They come out that way. I don't know.
It's insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it blows my mind. So yeah, any little bit, I think, of a little vanilla. The joke was I was talking to some family members today, and we were having this joke about how I loved Murder, She Wrote. I was comparing like the murder mysteries over the years, and I was like, because our friend Gerald Coleman suggested that I watch The Residence, and I started watching it last night. Oh my God, so great. And then I was doing the comparison between Cordelia and Jessica Fletcher, and we were going back to that, and then I was thinking about comparing Reacher to
Reacher.
Burn Notice, but like
Burn Notice was great.
That was good.
But Burn Notice had a little bit of the mirth, where Reacher has very little mirth, right? Like it just shows the times,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the next scene, you see some crazy violent thing that happened, whereas Burn Notice not so much. Just wasn't a part of it.
It was more like slapsticky. Like they would hit someone over the head and like they would like fall unconscious. It wouldn't be like an extended fight scene and things like that.
Exactly. And then if you wanted to get us away from all of that, you could just watch Psych, and James Rodriguez and Dule Hill were just amazing.
Dule Hill is one of my favorite actors of like this generation. Like he's so good.
Amazing.
He's I loved him on The West Wing.
West Wing, yeah.
Yeah, and then Psych was great, and then recently he did. We talked about this, Sargon. Recently he did.
Wonder Years.
With the new Wonder Years.
Yeah.
So good. And he sings and plays an instrument in that. I'm sure he's not actually playing. I mean, maybe he's playing the instrument. Who knows? But it is his voice singing, and he's very good. And he's awesome. He's great. He's so good in that show. And the show is just fun. The kid that's like the main character is like, he's going to be an actor too, for sure. Oh yeah, I forgot that he was in Holes. Shit, everyone was in that.
Wow.
There were so many people in that. That was Shia's first movie. I loved Shia for a long time too, until he went a little crazy, or a lot crazy.
Became problematic.
Yes.
Dule was also very briefly in the last season of Suits. Do you guys remember? Was it last season?
Yes, he was in the last season of Suits. Yeah, or last couple seasons. Yeah.
That was fun.
That's what I stopped watching Suits, and then when my wife was like, "Oh, look, Dule Hill's in it," I was like, "All right, I'll watch the last."
Turn it back on. Yeah.
I'm gonna get ready to press play on our movie.
Do it.
I'll give everyone a countdown. I put up my clock in the bottom over here, so if you're gonna try to follow along, and you like lose your place, you can catch up to where we are. The only problem is, since we're watching it on this free platform, we will have commercials. So like. Just be prepared for that when we're watching. I have the volume set to kind of low and subtitles on so that I know what's going on. But be prepared for commercials. This is the only place that this movie was streaming, and also everyone can watch it now because we don't have to have access to a streaming service for this. It's free, which is nice. I forgot how I found out this existed. I think someone in chat told me that this existed. I don't remember. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that. Someone had to make the joke. Thank you, Mike. All right. Here we go. Let's do the countdown. Let me get the clock ready to press play. All right. Here we go. I'll give everyone a countdown and then I'll press play. If you're in the watch party, you should be fine. Like it should play for you automatically. If not, just refresh the page. All right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play. And it's playing on the watch party. And yeah, I love those openings. The openings of like movies. You know what I really love? The old school HBO one. Do you remember that one? Mm-hmm. There was like a miniature city, and it would go through the city and then like up a building into the sky, and then it would be HBO. You remember that?
No. Wow.
It was old. Like, well, not. I mean. From when I was a kid, from when I was a little kid.
Do you guys remember The Wonderful World of Disney?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Those were awesome.
Yeah.
Those were fun.
I used to love the Saturday, a Sunday day, like Sunday mid-afternoon movie matinee on like ABC or NBC too. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, those were great. By the way, I did get this not long ago.
Oh, nice.
I haven't played it yet, but it looks fun.
So cool.
Crossroads of Destiny.
Yeah, I have this problem where I buy games and then I'm like, it's going to be awesome to play, and then it sits in the box for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when your kids get like,
yes,
you got yes,
yeah, it's children. I blame the children.
You have built-in players when the kids get a little bit older, like.
Yeah, we need to do that. I think a lot of people go through this where it's like, a lot of it sounds like it's a really great idea, but it's not always a great idea. It always depends on like what ages they are and their attention span and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it'd be fun to play with a bunch of us older folks one day. We could put it on and I could move the pieces for you guys. It would be wonderfully boring for everyone.
No, it would be fun because I would be making Avatar quotes the entire time.
So people who
hopefully doing voices
through the mail.
Yeah. It's not. At least it's not like forum posting. Like we have to like rook to queen to bishop 5, and then like wait a week for someone to post their fucking. There's a game. I have an Avatar board game too, but not that one. The one that I have is Korra, and it's the bending championship, like the bending fighting that they do, the dueling. Like where they're on top of the platforms and have to. Yeah, I have that. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool. I don't think I've seen that. They don't have.
I think it was a Kickstarter. Many of them. I think it was a Kickstarter.
Yeah, the default. This is always the default.
Oh yeah, I love the Lord of the Rings Risk. That's one of my favorite versions of Risk.
We can't play that in my house. It gets too. It causes fights. It's not.
Oh man, that's my students always tell me that the one thing that will break up a friendship is Mario Kart. That's what they always tell me. I didn't realize that was a thing.
I did have No, go ahead. I was gonna say I had a really awesome 6th grade teacher who got us started playing Risk under the guise of it being our social studies lesson. Like we played multiple games throughout the year, and I think that's where my competitive streak started. Was in that 5th grade.
That's a person after your own heart, Sargon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so many teachers actually use various. I mean, I know a bunch of political scientists who use zombie board games. Like it's a very common thing to use in political science. So you see that a lot. But yeah,
Yeah.
Risk it would be great. I mean, anything that teaches you any kind of strategy is helpful to any human being, right? You know, strategy is something that any life form needs to survive. So
absolutely.
Oh, dude, I agree. Monopoly totally destroys homes. That's one game where we can't play more than like for 10 minutes in my house, and then the board flips up in the air and somebody's cheating or taking money or whatever.
You know what was really helpful to that was the video game version of Monopoly. We've been more successful completing the video game version than the board game version.
It forced you to stick to the actual rules of Monopoly, where if you play to the actual rules of Monopoly, the game only takes about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the fun in that, Tom?
Wait,
like there's no...
There's no giving
money?
people money. There's no giving people money. You don't give people any money. You're not allowed to give people money. You're not allowed to make deals. You're not allowed to like all of those extra rules that people do that get you so much money. Yeah, those are rules that people made up that became so prevalent that people think they're the real rules. They're not.
Yeah.
If you open the book and play the basic rules of Monopoly, the game will only take an hour at most.
Wow.
Even with like 6 people playing. But so Mike, Lord of the Rings is great. If you haven't played Risk, I understand. Not everyone was as nerdy as us growing up, but there are so many versions of Risk.
The Walking Dead version is fun too. If you guys haven't played that, the Walking Dead one's good. And
the Walking Dead one is good. My favorite. So the Lord of the Rings one is pretty cool. There's like a whole sub game where like the Fellowship is taking the ring to Mordor and like
you got to move the ring as you go.
Yeah, you move them as that's like the timeline of the game. So the game ends once the Fellowship reaches Mordor, which is a cool way to put like a timer on Risk, because Risk is one of those games that could take days to complete, like the old school one. But my favorite one is a version called Risk Legacy. So that is it's its own version of Risk as for the theming. Like, there's different factions instead of the world map. It's a post-apocalyptic Earth. And it's meant to be played over and over again in the sense that each time you play, you there's like a thing in the back of the book where like, okay, did this happen when you were playing? Okay, then go to page 35, pull off sticker 11 and paste it over rule 2. And like, it changes the game. Like it'll change the game. And then like, okay, who won this game? Oh, this faction won. Okay, then this happens. And then like, it's like you peel a sticker off, or like, it'll say, go to rule 5 and X out this word, or like, tear this page out of the book and throw it in the garbage. Like it's,
oh my God, choose your own adventure.
Yeah. It's like a choose your own adventure board game of Risk that that's by the end of the game, the board will look completely different than it looked when you first got it. There'll be writing all over it. There'll be different stickers everywhere. Whole other factions come out. Factions get completely deleted out of the game. It's really cool. It's a really cool version of the game. If you like board games like that. What's up?
Is it old? Like how recent is it? Is it like a...
I think they've done a second edition of it, but I think the like Risk Legacy, the first one came out maybe 10 years ago or so. I want to say 10 or 11 years ago. There's a bunch, if you look up, like there's a bunch of games that have a legacy version. So like one is called Pandemic, which is a little too close for home at the moment for all of us. But yeah, we're a little too soon on it. But Pandemic is another really famous board game people love. But there's a Pandemic Legacy, and then there's a couple other versions too.
Like Pandemic is hard enough just playing with regular rule. Like I think the first time I played Pandemic was during the pandemic, which was a little rough. But like I can't imagine changing the rules depending on what happened during the last pandemic because of, XYZ. It was mind-boggling then.
Yeah, absolutely. We have this one.
Oh, shit, that's old.
Risk.
This is like, I didn't know about it. We have a friend who basically told me about it and said, hey, have you ever played Castle Risk? And I guess like you also can fortify a place, and you can lose by somebody taking your fortified castle.
That's cool.
Yeah, we've never played it. It came in plastic, and I took the plastic off, and it's been sitting here because we haven't had time to play it. So,
yeah, well, that's such is life.
Oh boy.
The original. Do you know about Monopoly? Like about the story of Monopoly? Like how the guy that made it stole it from a woman that made it. That made it. That's not a word. That made it.
No,
And it was originally called the Landlord's Game.
Yeah, it was originally called the Landlord's Game. I think her name was Elizabeth Maggie, if I'm getting that right. I think she made the Landlord's Game in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it was really good. And then I think Mattel, like the guy who made Mattel games, saw it, remade it as Monopoly, and sold it, and became a billionaire, and is now Mattel Toys. Like that's how. Yeah, he did pull a monopoly on her. He did. But like the game is almost exactly the same, except whereas we realize now it's like a game about capitalism and being like horrible. Her version was purposefully satired to show that being a landlord is inherently evil. And like the only way to profit off it is like profiting from people's misery. So like the through theme of the game was being a landlord isn't great.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to capitalism is good. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. What's his name? Shit.
That dude did you just look at the screen and notice the dude who's there? Oh, me too. That's what I just did too.
I'm trying to remember his name. Justin Long.
Justin Long, yeah.
Yeah, this is his first movie.
He looks like a baby. That's really young.
This is Justin Long's first movie, and Dwight from The Office. Forgot his name. Rain something. It's his first movie too.
For a minute, I forgot that Tony Shalhoub was in it too. This is pre-Monk.
Yep.
Love Tony Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub is one of my favorite actors.
Wow. Holy moly.
Yeah. I looked up some there's some interesting stuff about this movie. So, like I said before, originally Steve Martin, Kevin Kline, and Alec Baldwin were offered Tim Allen's role, but they turned it down. And then Harold Ramis, Egon from Ghostbusters, for people who don't know, he was a big director after Ghostbusters. He directed and wrote a lot of movies. Like if you go and look up Harold Ramis on like IMDb, he wrote and directed a bunch of movies that are famous and we all know after being in Ghostbusters. And the movie that I love him more in, which is Stripes. If you haven't seen that, you should immediately remedy that situation. He was attached to it, and he fought to get Sigourney Weaver in. And then when they said they wanted Tim Allen to be the main character, for some reason, he decided he didn't want to be part of the movie anymore. But yeah, I think it would have been cool to see Harold Ramis and a Harold Ramis directed version, but the movie was still great. And the original cut was R-rated, and there was a lot more like sexual innuendo stuff with Sigourney Weaver's character and more violence, but they wanted to cut it to make it more kid friendly, so they got it down to PG.
Wow.
But the original cut of the film was R-rated. I didn't know that. I watched a thing with the I listened to the director commentary. And there he is. There's what's his name from The Office? Dwight from The Office. God. The Thermians.
What? Wait a minute. What you guys are on Dwight from The Office? For some reason, I am now at a commercial. I don't know what.
Oh, okay.
Mine's going really fast. So like I'm at 1326.
I'm at 1330. Yeah, we might have. It might give us different. It's probably giving us different commercial breaks. I was afraid it might do that.
Mine
has puppies.
Oh, puppy!
I think it might be a T-Mobile commercial, but for some reason it had puppies in it.
Mine was just.
We got to look up some of those clips later. Maybe.
Windows.
Mentos?
Oh, well, thanks for coming and hanging out with us, Mike. 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
So 3
Dear.
commercials
10, 11,
ahead.
12, 1, 2, 3. So 6 hours ahead. Got to be in Europe or Africa or.
Yeah, where are you, man? 3 a.m.
Where?
Late.
Yeah,
Wow.
if you're still around. Yes, Klaatu. That's the aliens from the day the Earth stood still. That was the reference for them. They worked in a lot of fun little sci-fi references into this, which I liked.
Okay, I'm forwarding back to where you guys are. You guys are at 13 something. I'm going
14, 14. Yeah, you don't have to
Still
try to catch
watching
up.
commercials.
They're in the limo now, going to the ship.
Oh, he put his sunglasses. Tim Allen just put his sunglasses on.
He just put sunglasses on. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
And there's Rain,
I'm
there's
back
Dwight
with you.
sitting in the limo, getting him a Coke, very awkwardly. They had to go to the people that play this group right here that play the Thermians. They had to go to like a month-long training thing where they learned to like sit and walk and like do things like that, so that would be their natural reaction instead of being like a person. They called it alien school.
Oh my God, we're such nerds. I love it.
Okay, so speaking of things that are super nerdy, I love Alan Rickman, and I was trying to think what was my favorite thing that he did or that I saw him in, and I took an Irish lit class just as like a filler course in college the first time, and there's Samuel Beckett had something called Play. Do you guys know what that is? Have you ever heard this? Play by Samuel Beckett?
No.
Look it up. Alan Rickman was in it. It was a very brief clip, but he's literally buried in the sand in like a jar or basket up to his neck, just like jabbering and talking away with these two other women who are like talking heads. It is surreal, which Samuel Beckett kind of is, but really funny. I had not thought about that since college.
Wow.
I think I'm torn between. That's awesome. I'm torn between Die Hard and Die Hard and shit. What the hell? Oh, Sheriff of Nottingham when he was Robin Hood.
Yeah.
In Robin Hood.
Oh yeah.
Because he looks great in the Sheriff of Nottingham costume, and he's got that big like. Let me see if I can find a quick picture. He's got that like Jerry curl hair. Basically, is what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to not connect him to Hans Gruber, That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But I oh my God, Glenn, I totally agree. Dogma, I totally forgot. He's the, what's his face? Is he the voice of God, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and he keeps drinking the alcohol because he loves the taste of alcohol, but he can't drink it, right? He drinks it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's the Metatron. Yep. He's Metatron. Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God, I totally forgot.
I love a classic Sense and Sensibility.
Mm.
There was something that he was in, not recently, but that I've seen recently that I was like, oh my God,
that hair.
Yeah.
That hair. Sorry.
But I don't remember what I saw him in, and I was like, oh, he was also good in Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, he was good in Sweeney Todd. He was the robot in Hitchhiker's Guide. He did the voice of the robot, the depressed robot. That was fantastic. Here we go.
So,
wait, he was in Michael Collins too? Huh.
I did see him in something the Lord made, and his accent is wild, but I love it. Like, I need a guy who's English but speaks with a Southern accent, but like isn't quite there.
I'm doing that right now for you, Rapunzel.
That was a good one.
The
Mesmer was good.
It's gone. I had a thing and it's gone now. But yeah, I miss Alan Rickman. He was great.
Wasn't he in like a weird haircutting movie too? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't know.
Like, I'm looking at his discography and I don't see it, but I remember, like...
Do you mean Quickly Down Under?
That is a weird movie. Man who started acting at the age of 42, by the way.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and prior to that, he owned a... I mean, you could stay and make your D&D character. What are you making? What class are you making? What race?
You should base it on Alan Rickman.
Yeah, base it on one of Alan Rickman's characters.
Snape. Just do
it. So a wizard or sorcerer?
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Sorcerer.
Make it a sorcerer, but actually base it on him in Love Actually.
Oh God.
That's actually a great idea.
That's so funny. God, another movie I haven't seen in 100 years. I love this like bubble bull crap that they do for the teleporting. It's funny. Oh, Luna's back. He's eating food, but he's back. You could look at Luna's butt. So Luna turned 19 this year.
No.
We've been he's doing okay, but he's got kidney disease, so we had to start giving him a new medication that he has to take every day, but he's doing good with it.
Apparently the movie I was thinking of was called Blow Dry, and it came out in 2001.
Okay,
I've never heard of that.
And it's about like a hair cutting competition.
Oh my God. Is it a comedy?
It is.
All right, I gotta check it out.
Like all of the other actors are like very much.
Oh shit, Bill Nye.
Yeah.
Rachel Griffiths. Oh yeah. Okay, that's good. Natasha Richardson. Oh, Rosemary Harris. She played in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. She was Aunt May. I like her though.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, Michael Mickelhatton's in it. That's our Tam Thor.
I was raised better. I'll never forget that. I just love that little piece.
So if you guys were Star Trek, if you had to pick a Star Trek, thing to be, like an engineer, a science officer, a commander, security, what do you guys think you'd do?
I haven't seen enough Star Trek to know the answer.
That's fair. Well, like the science guys are like Spock and things like that. Or would you want to be like, one of... Well, you know what, though? Star Trek has them all going as ground crew with phasers and fighting. So,
yeah.
I think I would want to be a science officer or a science officer of some kind, but someone that's like studying like xeno technology, like going out and studying like new alien tech and new alien stuff. That's what I would want to do.
Can I pick Q?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember, and this might not even be Star Trek, Brendan watching a Star Trek that took place, like it had a bar in it.
Yeah. Deep Space Nine. I love Deep Space Nine.
I would be the bartender. I feel like that's.
So you'd be. What were they called?
Wait a minute, dude. Whoopi Goldberg's character was. Wasn't she the bartender? She owned the bar in. And she was like a super powerful creature too, wasn't she?
I didn't see that one. All I remember is bartender. He was orange and he had big ears.
Ferengi.
But I would also be Whoopi Goldberg. That's also fine.
Yeah.
I gotta find out
perfect.
what.
There you go. That's funny.
I'm trying to remember because she wasn't quite Q.
I don't remember. I remember Whoopi Goldberg being in it. I don't remember if she was not a human or not. I don't
She
remember.
wasn't a human.
Yeah, I don't remember what she was. Like, she looked like a human though. Like she.
Yeah.
She did, but I thought she was a species Elarian. That's what it was. Elarians referred to the race of listeners, our humanoid race introduced in the second season. They appear outwardly identical to humans. Okay.
So if you're gonna be a bartender on Deep Space Nine, Redfield,
Ferengi.
you got to be a Ferengi. So you need to work on a Ferengi cosplay.
I really want to be Neil. From Star Wars, but yeah, I just can't do the prosthetics. I gotta carve that shit out. I'm not a mold making person.
Okay.
But if I did, like when we watched, oh my god,
Sam Rockwell in this is really funny too. I love this. He's such a funny actor that you would never peg as a funny actor if you like see some of his serious stuff. You would be like, this guy can't do comedy, and he's so funny. Anyway, sorry. Don't do mold. You don't like to do molding.
No, but if I learn how to do it, I would probably end up being a Star Wars character anyway.
That's fair.
Because Neil,
Twi'lek?
I would die for Neil.
Okay. It did look like a speculum, Glenn. It did kind of look like a speculum. That's got to be a nod to just the weird Star Trek like health things that they would hold up to people and like it seems like you have a cold.
Or it could also be Star Wars because they end up just having random things that they're like, this is something important, but it's an ice cream maker or like, cup that they found at Target.
My favorite, there it is. I just love Sarah. He's so fucking ridiculous. My favorite one that off the top of my head that I remember, other than the ice cream maker, because the ice cream maker was funny, but Qui-Gon Jinn's communicator in The Phantom Menace was a lady's chic razor.
Oh yeah.
That they painted. What does he do with himself now? Daryl Mitchell, that guy, the guy that plays Tommy Webber or whatever, the pilot. He was in 10 Things I Hate About You and like a bunch of other like fun like he wasn't in a lot of 10 Things I Hate About You, but he was like one of the guys in the classroom, and then he was at the party at the end. Oh, he's in Fear the Walking Dead. Cool. So he's still doing shows. Maybe I'll watch Fear the Walking Dead a little more. I haven't stayed up on Walking Dead in a while.
I think I only made it through the first 2 seasons, maybe.
That's funny. I love those little things. Like I love seeing like the behind the scenes stuff on those older movies where it's like, yeah, I just went in the back room and grabbed a broken camera and I glued it together and that's a lightsaber.
Yep.
Like nowadays it's like, oh yeah, I made it on my 3D printer and I printed it out and there it is. Like don't get me wrong, that's really fucking cool, but I like seeing them just go and take random crap and put it together, and then like now we have this thing. It just, I don't know why it speaks to me, but it does. So historical documents. What else would have been a historical document to them that would have been funny? Knight Rider. I'm trying to think of other stuff because they talk about Gilligan's Island and this is supposed to be like Star Trek. So
Happy God, the band from A-Team. Wow.
Oh yeah, the A-Team. Okay, that would have been funny. Or MacGyver. It could have been MacGyver. Prop making as done by the A-Team.
Greatest mullet ever.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Dean Anderson from MacGyver.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of MacGyver. No, that's not MacGyver. That's the Matlock. That's the thing that I was thinking of.
Very different than MacGyver, Tom.
It's very different, but it has an M in it and it's one word, and I have dyslexia, so that's how my brain works. I was like, why did that make me think of? there's a new Matlock show that's out now, and it's actually good. Like I had no desire to watch it. I heard that it was getting made and saw it, and I was like, all right, cool. And then I was watching something on Peacock or Paramount or whatever it's on, and it like auto played, and I was like, it's not a bad movie, not a bad TV show. Kathy Bates plays the main character.
Love her.
Yeah, and it's a MacGyver is a show that happened in this universe, in the universe of the show. Like they're like, yeah, she's like, yeah, my last name's Matlock. Yeah, my last name is Matlock, like the old TV show. And yes, I'm a lawyer, like the guy on the old TV show. But there's a pretty interesting story behind it. I won't spoil it. I ended up watching the whole first season because I was like, wow, the show's not bad.
There are so many commercials.
I know. There's a bunch of commercials, but we get to watch it for free, so that's
it's true. It's true.
You know, Alan Rickman specifically wanted to play this role because he loves comedy the most. He loves doing comedy the most.
I can see it.
It's funny too because his character is like the least overtly comedic.
He's the straight guy.
And, yeah, he does it well though.
Where?
The role that Guy, his name is Guy in the thing. Wow, Sam Rockwell. I kept thinking Norm Macdonald. Sam Rockwell is funny. Like I love that he's like the red shirt.
So I have to ask this question only because I don't know enough about it. But was the TV show with Steve Carell, the Space Force one? Did that have anything to do with this? Did they?
No.
It wasn't. But wasn't there another one that was connected to this at some? Oh wait a minute. What about the one by Seth? What's his face?
No,
MacFarlane. That wasn't either.
No. Nope. I loved that show too. That's a great show. No, that's a real sci-fi thing. Like it's not like like this. They do want to make a Galaxy Quest TV show, and they've been like it got optioned a couple times and then dropped and then picked back up and then dropped again. At one point, Simon Pegg was attached to it. But then like he dropped out of it, and then it was announced that Paramount was going to try to revitalize it, and then no other information for like the last 7 years. Oh, I liked Red Dwarf. Yeah, I know Red Dwarf. But I do also watch a lot of British television. Like I love the Great British Bake Off, Upstairs, Downstairs. I watch a lot of the British game shows are fun. I forgot the one where they have to guess if they're lying. I don't remember what that one's called. That one's fun. That's another game that we played at JordanCon. You have to say something, and the other, like, there's two teams. One person on the team says something, and then the people from the other team have to determine whether it's the truth or a lie. And you have 5 minutes to ask questions. Would I lie to you? That's what it's called. So my statement was, I've burnt down 7 houses.
It's true.
If you guys want to ask any questions, feel free, and then I'll tell you.
Wait, we're supposed to guess whether you're a real person?
No, you're supposed to guess whether or not what my statement that I just said is true. I, Tom, have burnt down 7 houses.
Did you do it for work?
Did you burn them all the same way?
Yes. Yes, I did. Gasoline and a blowtorch or a lighter or something. One time with a Molotov cocktail.
Are you admitting to a crime on the internet? Like, that's not a good idea, Tom.
No.
Were they much smaller than a normal house?
No. Some of them were quite big, like house size, like regular person house size. Yep. They were not doll houses.
Hmm.
Did you get any insurance money from this?
Nope. I got paid actually, though, like a regular paycheck.
Was it just you or you and other people?
Oh, there were other people. Yeah, there was always other people.
Was this when you were working construction?
It was.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Were they already not safe?
Kinda, yeah. Some of them were. Some of them weren't. Like some of them were fine, but like just old.
Where was it?
In New York, on Long Island, Nassau County mostly, but all over actually the place, not in like one spot.
That would be terrible, you guys. You can't do this.
Hey, listen.
No.
The possibility I'm currently in Florida and I travel outside of my home, so like I have to go out into Florida. So the possibility of me going to jail in the near future is pretty high.
Stop it. Stop it.
Sorry, I keep yawning. I don't mean to.
No, you're good.
You think we're
So what do you
boring?
think?
It's fine. We
No,
understand.
you're not boring. It's been a very long day. And the end of a very long week.
And I asked Redfield here to join me only like a few hours ago. So,
But
She's
thankfully,
being
they got me on a dress rehearsal. Yeah.
all right. So did I burn down the houses or not? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I saw a couple. Basically, everyone thinks it's true in chat. So
Yeah,
I would say no.
no.
I say no. That who the heck would let who would, in what world would they think it's a good idea to throw a Molotov cocktail and burn down a building and then do it many times? No, it's fake. No way. It's fake.
Okay. It is true. It is true. I did burn down
Okay, but
7
why?
houses
How?
while I worked for the New York State. Actually, I was working for. So in there,
What?
Long Island is made up of mostly marshland in the center of the island. And back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, people built a lot of houses out in the marshes. And after at one point in like the 1950s, they made it so people couldn't build houses out there anymore because they made them protected land. And then in the 70s, they made it illegal to do any upkeep to the houses. Like you couldn't fix them, you couldn't repair them, you could do any construction on them whatsoever. And they made it so you couldn't sell them either. You can only hand them down in your family for free. You couldn't sell them.
But you couldn't fix them up. You couldn't.
But you weren't allowed to fix them up yet. Once they started getting debilitated, you had to just basically abandon them. So people would abandon them, and then the best way, like most environmentally friendly way to get rid of them was to burn them down. So we would go out and be like, all right, we got another house is ready to go. So we would go out into the marshes and we would rig up. We didn't use a lot of accelerants because it's bad for the environment, but just to get the fire started, we used a severely watered down version of gasoline, essentially, that's made for doing things like this. And we would set houses on fire. It was a lot of fun.
So many ways that could go wrong.
Well, it's out in the middle of the marsh, so it's in the middle of a big body of water. So the only dangerous part was obviously us. But we would set the house on fire and then go back onto our boat. And then my second favorite part of this whole thing, the boat had a water cannon on it. So we would sit there we would take turns in the water cannon and like make sure just the house set on fire and the fire didn't spread out into the marsh.
Nice.
So that was kind of fun. That was also fun.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah. And I got paid taxpayer money to do it because I worked for New York State.
It was funny when you said Molotov cocktail. I just thought to myself, like, no, there's just no business would allow you to. I was thinking demolition, construction demolition. But then I was like, when would you ever do that?
I do know I know a very good way to get a house to set on fire and then stay on fire and burn, even if it's wet.
Wow.
One of the boat captains that we used to work with too always had to take a dump in the house before we did it. And that was like his ritual.
Nice.
I love the shtick that they do with the crew's like jobs, how it's like the exaggerated version of like the implication of the jobs of the characters from Star Trek. You know, like in Star Trek, they kept it lore based, like they made it seem like they had important jobs, but in this show, they just made it overtly obvious that their jobs weren't important. Like Sigourney Weaver's, she just repeated the computer. She just said that line a second ago, and I was like, I forgot about that. For one thing, I want to say the CG in this movie is far better than I remember. Like, it holds up.
Did you watch it on like a TV today, like a bigger screen? Because it looks really good on my phone, but I was wondering, like, on a nice TV, does it look pretty?
Yeah.
Pretty
I mean,
good?
I watched it on my monitor, but my monitor is, pretty big. Have I ever showed you guys my setup? Have you ever seen my monitors? I don't know. Here, hold on. I'll make Luna's camera bigger for a second. And you can see how the magic happens. There you go. That's my setup. That's my computers.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think we have about the same amount of monitors at this point. Brendan had one extra monitor, but we've downsized to 4.
Fair. I mean, he does coding and stuff, though, right?
No.
Oh no, he's just a big nerd like me.
He works for Ticket Network on websites. Like a translator.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Can yeah, but breaking an apple in half, Mike, is actually just, you have to know how to do it. That's like one of those feats of strength that aren't actually really that hard to do. But yeah, I do know how to do that. The Clothian minefield. Even though, like, you know what he sounds like? He sounds like the old school, oh no, our crew descends into the Clothian minefield. Find out what happens to them next week on Star Trek. Like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Aww.
My wrist is just slowly falling apart.
I can only imagine how fun that is to sew things.
God, no.
Oh, it's real bad.
No, there's our. Oh no, he disappeared again.
Yep, he's there. He's back.
Well, actually, recently I've been painting, so it's an even more unusual.
That is my least favorite. Like that is my. It's not even favorite. That is the thing I like to do the least, is painting things like that. Like, I don't like to paint.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of painting, like a lot of painting. Now it's just large swatches of paint, so like floors, facing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like it hurts.
Oh, you mean painting like your house?
Not detail painting. Like your...
not really detail painting. It's the theater stuff. So.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like paint your costume painting, like painting like a costume or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, technically, technically, but also not technically.
That's fair. I like the idea of like 3D printing, like, Mandalorian armor pieces and things like that. But then like you got to paint them, and like I hate painting. I just hate it.
Well, the painting isn't that hard because a lot of like that kind of armor is spray painted, but it's really the sanding with the Mandalorian armor that gets.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like
I've
traded sanding my armor for building someone else's soft parts.
That's fair. See if we can get Luna's face in the camera. There he is.
Sweetheart.
Yeah. There it is.
Sorry, I had to disappear for a second because we had to make a brief check on the
children.
No, the election Canada.
Oh, okay. How's it going?
I just was checking. It seems to be in the 130. Liberal Party's got 138 approximately. Conservatives have 106.
Okay.
Parti Bloc, the Québécois party, is about at 21, and it seems NDPs are at 3.
All right.
So yeah, things are still sort of coming in, and I don't think BC has been counted yet. I think they're probably still doing stuff.
Hopefully that goes the way we need it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Sorry, I just had to jump out there.
No, you're good. You're all good. We're just having
lived there for 7 years.
Yeah, you had a good like French accent there for that. I like that was good. You speak French?
Yeah, no, not at all. When I tell people I went up to Canada for a while and did some schooling up there, people are always like, "Oh, Montreal, do you speak French?" And I'm like, "No, Canada, really big."
Mm-hmm.
And I was in one of the parts where much was spoken in English. So no, and I studied Spanish in school. So I didn't really have to use the French until I got into reading academic papers, and I had to do like languages of modern scholarship, and I had to do German and French, and they wouldn't let me do Spanish. It stunk. And they wouldn't let me do Italian either. I asked to do Italian because I felt that my Spanish would help me out a lot with the Italian, because I found there were so many more similarities. So yeah.
Spanish and Italian are very close. I don't speak either fluently, but like I grew up, my grandparents spoke mostly Italian, like to each other, and they used to babysit me all the time. So I picked up a lot of words. Like if I listen to an Italian conversation, I can tell you what they're saying mostly, but I can't repeat it at all. But like I also through that was able to pick up a lot of Spanish too, like with my friends and classmates and stuff from where I used to live. It was I lived in a mostly Spanish neighborhood for a little while, and then most of my friends were a lot of my friends were Spanish. My best friend growing up was Puerto Rican, and his mom used to make the best food. Well, she's still Puerto Rican because she's still alive. So and I'm sure she still makes fantastic food. Our food does taste sexy too, Mike. And I am the cook in this house. I cook. I love to cook.
Well, if we would have loved to have you at the con suite cooking us some food.
Oh yeah, I made food. I made food once, not for the con suite, for like another group that had food.
Oh, cool. What'd you guys make when you did it?
I did pasta sauce because it's easy. I made a huge thing of pasta sauce, and well, I mean it's easy. You make a huge thing of vat of pasta sauce, and you just got to boil water and throw the sauce in it. Alan Rickman had to wear that freaking prosthetic for this whole movie. I wonder if it bothered him or not, because he doesn't really. I don't remember him ever having to wear a prosthetic like that in anything else.
I just totally forgot, but it becomes real, right?
The guy that's following him around believes in his thing, but no, it doesn't become.
So
it falls
it's not
off
real
his head actually at the end. No, it falls off his head at the end.
Oh yeah, I forgot about all that.
During the big fight, it's all his hair is all coming out of it and stuff.
Man, I forgot a lot of this stuff. For some reason, I just had one of those moments where I was thinking that this is where he zooms around on the desert planet, and then somebody who's really powerful punches somebody, and then I realized that was another movie that Tim Allen was in, right? with like a family with superpowers.
Mm.
Oh.
I just did this where I totally like blanked and went into another movie.
Yes. That is another movie. Yeah. There's a family. Yes, I know what movie you're talking about. And yes, I think Tim Allen is the dad in that.
Or maybe he's the Zoom. That's what it is. Booyah! I knew it was Captain Zoom, and he loses his powers. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there was a kid who has like he can make his fist become really big or something like that. I remember that.
Yeah. Luna's getting food again.
Oh, so cute.
He's right there.
What are you guys giving her for the kidney stuff, Tom?
I forgot what it's called. It's actually an experimental medication that just got approved for so cats with kidney disease also develop like an anemia.
Yeah.
And it treats that as well as like something to do with the kidney. There's no real treatment for the kidney disease except a Japanese biologist who like in his 40s got his first cat and then was pissed because it died so young due to kidney disease. And then he found out how many cats die of kidney disease that he's like, I'm going to cure this. And he did. And he developed a vaccine that's in the works of getting approved right now. And they said if cats end up like if it gets approved and cats end up taking it, cats can live into their 30s.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait, when is this coming? We need this now. When is it coming out?
Now.
When is it coming out? We need it now.
Erin, can you post a link to that article that talked about it in chat? If she's paying attention. So when they first landed on this planet, Sam Rockwell's character was like, "You're just gonna open the door? Is there air? We don't know." And he improvised that because it wasn't in the script, like whether or not they test if there's like the air quality. They're landing on an alien planet, and Sam Rockwell was like, "How do we know there's air?" And like they were like, "Oh, say that," and he that's how that line got in the movie.
It is the trope.
Me too, reverse. And I saw someone ask before what TV show we're going to watch. We will announce that at the end of the episode, as per usual. But yes, we had 4 options on the polls. Legend of Korra, Andor, Last of Us. What was the other one?
I don't remember.
Cobra Kai.
Maybe I'm going to add Cobra Kai to the list because I really did enjoy that.
If you do Cobra Kai, dude, I will come on for every episode that I'm allowed.
Oh, you can come on whenever you want.
Every episode, yeah, whenever you want.
Oh my God, I would if you guys, Tom and Chris, if you would. Oh my, I have watched and rewatched Cobra Kai. I don't know what it is about like being in the Karate Kid world, but like part of me
it's fun.
Yeah.
Aren't they making a movie?
There's Legacy, and then or Legacies, whatever it's called, the one where Jackie Chan and he's got a student, and
I mean they're making one with these characters, with the original characters. I've
heard that they're doing a spin-off. They're supposed to be doing spin-off. I know that. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I do know that I bought a Cobra Kai gi because
nice.
Why not?
Do you do any martial arts that require a gi?
I haven't in a couple of years, but no, the last thing I did for years. I studied Goju Ryu karate for years, and then I studied.
What was it? Wait, say that again.
Goju Ryu. So Goju is hard soft style. So it's like it's Okinawan karate. So
okay.
Yeah. It's
so it would have been kind of like the karate that Daniel-san does.
Totally. Totally.
Mr. Miyagi is from Okinawa.
Yeah. Almost everything there's even where when he does in number 3, where he starts doing a particular kata. I'm trying to remember which kata it is, but it's like absolutely the same kata as it is in in Goju. Like it
cool.
might even I think it might be Saifa. I think it's Kata Saifa, if I remember correctly. But I remember watching it and going like, oh my god, I know that. But yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But when COVID came, I didn't do much. I think a lot of people just didn't want to do close contact sports.
Yeah.
When this is really funny, but it wasn't that funny then, but I don't know if you guys will appreciate this, but I'm going to say it. We did we play soccer. I play soccer with a bunch of old guys all the time. And one of the funny things is that at the beginning of COVID, because there were so many different rules, we didn't know. Nobody knew if it was like if you touch something, if if you're breathing, if your clothes were going to get you sick. I mean, who the hell knew?
Yeah.
So just in order to get people outside and doing something, soccer. So it was outdoors, right? But everyone wore long shirts and gloves so that you didn't touch anyone, and masks.
That must have been tough to run around. That must have been real tough.
Isn't that insane? Like, I mean, I look back at it now and go, "Oh my god!" But everyone's trying to keep everyone safe, right? People are like,
good.
"We don't know."
It's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see people. Like the idea of like people caring enough to try to keep others safe is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, Alan Rickman yelling at Alan there was funny. No, it's called football.
Have you guys been watching? We have now national rugby teams.
No,
and they're pretty like a national women's rugby teams. And I watch it on like one of those free sports channels. And
that was weird.
There's only like 7 teams, I think, 6 or 7 teams. But they're killing it, and I really, really enjoy watching it. There's like 3 matches a weekend or some shit.
Wait a minute. Is this like? So I was just thinking about this because a buddy of mine just sent me a message and said, "Hey, we're gonna go watch the Free Jacks play." Is that what you're talking about? It's not the Free Jacks, is it?
No. Boston has the Banshees. So that's the Boston team. Florida has the Tempests, I believe. It's like Florida, Boston, St. Louis, I think. There's only like 7 teams.
Banshees. I got it. Oh my god, this is awesome.
That's cool.
And their logos are really awesome. New York has one. It's the New York Exiles. I think so.
Oh my god, the Banshees. Dude, you're so correct.
The funny crossover. So Ariel Burgess, who's an artist and also like one of the old school official Wheel of Time artists, her partner, and also fantastic human, and we've had him as a guest on the show actually. Cooper Blackwood. He is one of the like lead videographers for the U.S. Soccer League. Nice. So he goes around the country and does the video for like the games and stuff.
Yeah, they're just starting to like. You can tell that. As I said, I watch it on like a free. I don't remember what like free streaming sports channel, but you can tell that they're just kind of like understanding how to video rugby and like how to talk. Like one of the announcers is like the announcer when they do the Olympics, and then like the other announcer is just like a person who has done professional rugby. So you can kind of tell that they're kind of like understanding how to talk about it with people who have no idea, and how to film it in a way like we have no idea.
That guy took that right to the face without blinking. I just want to say that. I started getting like, I've always enjoyed rugby, and I've watched it like over the years a little. There's a version of rugby that's called Irish football, and it's rugby but like a little different, and I like that. I forgot or Gaelic football. It's Gaelic football. I like Gaelic football.
I don't play sports.
Aaron actually. Oh, well, that's fair.
No, go ahead.
Aaron played rugby in college. Aaron was a collegiate rugby player.
That's awesome. But I don't play sports. But have you guys ever played Nine Square? Have you heard of this? Do you know what this is?
That sounds super familiar.
Okay, so it's like PVC pipes essentially, like put together in like a U shape, but to make 9 squares that are like, I don't know, 8 feet tall or something.
Okay.
You can play alone, and there's 9 squares on the inside. The person in the middle serves, and it's kind of like Foursquare, but the ball has to go over the bar. You can only touch it once while it's in your circle, and you like it's like Foursquare, but it's 9 square, and it's up instead of down. Shockingly fun. They got one at my school where I work. I work in elementary school, and I was like, I just needed alcohol, and it would have been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
So
the person in the middle gets screwed like every time.
I know.
Well, the person in the middle in our game, we did it as like a staff development thing one day. They were in there for like 10 or 12 turns. Like they held it down for quite a while.
The they started doing this thing now. Like I think it's one company all over the country here. I don't know if they're doing it over by you, Mike, but where it's like kind of like think like paintball but with archery. But like I've seen them too where it's like it's not like paint or anything. When you shoot the other person with the bow, with the arrow, it has like a, you know, a Nerf end on it, but it has sensors in it to say when it goes off. But like the sport is like a professional level, like as serious as people take fucking paintballing, but archery. So like they have these big archery fields set up with like, you know, barricades and things to hide behind, and kind two teams compete.
Laser tag place.
yeah, like old school like laser tag, but with archery. Like it's a thing that's like becoming popular now. There's one near our house that our friend and I were just like, we got to do this. Like I want to do this really bad. Like, oh, why are you working out? Were you getting in shape for? You running a marathon? Nope, I got to get good for my archery team. Like,
I mean, I think LARPers have had that for a while.
Yeah, it's basically like LARPing archery, except with like rules. I gotta look up what it's called.
The trampoline place by me has a adult night or adult league, but it's like trampoline and dodgeball.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that too. The he just has that shit all over his face for like the rest of this movie, I think. You know what? This movie was surprising. Like scenes like this and like the torture scene of like the other captain, and like there were surprisingly like, I don't want to say dark, but like dramatic moments that I wasn't expecting. Like I didn't remember when I watched it the first time. Like when I was watching it today, I was like, oh, that was unexpectedly dramatic. Anyway, the same place that does the archery also has snow tubing all year round in Florida.
Ooh.
We just came back from Tennessee, and they had they're like roller coasters, but it's one person, and people usually do it when there's no snow, like on ski slopes.
Yeah.
They had a ton of those. I don't know why, but they're like, they just be on random sides of mountains and shit.
That's cool.
There is one in Kansas City. It's called Bow Blast.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Bow Blast. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Sargon's back. Yay.
Sorry, keep going back and forth to elections.
You're good, man. Yeah, there's we were just talking about there's like a professional archery, like an adult archery league in that they've started doing like around the country, and there's one near our house that we're gonna my friends and I are gonna look into doing.
I would like to think I would be better at that than a bowling league, but I don't know.
Yeah, like
you totally should do it.
I want to do something like that, you know, but like there was never like a fun sport that like I want to do other than like football, but my body can't do it anymore, and none of my friends are football people. And this is perfect. I feel like this is perfect. I did play like men's league football for a little while back in New York, but my body cannot do that anymore. I'm too old.
That was the one problem with the rugby thing. They would have like, you know, the awesome player, and they would have the stats at the bottom, and you're like, that woman is 29 and she is 6'4".
Yep.
I can't. Maybe I can't play rugby.
Yeah. It's freaking rugby. Rugby was a ton of fun. I played rugby a bunch. It's very different than football. Like, you know, obviously I don't think one is harder than the other. Or worse. Though, like some of the big downfield hits in rugby are kind of crazy because play never really stops like it does in football. That's the only major difference from playing it that I had to get used to, I think. The freaking practical costuming in this too is great too. I forgot about that.
Really impressive.
Yeah. Like the animatronics in that face and all the shit. It looks good.
I wonder what the budget was for this movie.
It wasn't a lot. It was like 40 or 60 million. I looked it up. It was like 40 or 60 million.
45
What year was
million.
this again? 45?
1999. Yeah, 99, yeah. And it made a lot of money. Like it made a lot of money. And then it became like more of like a cult classic on
it grossed 90 million. 90 million. So that's
which
good.
for 1999 was a lot of money. It more than doubled its budget, which is huge. But it made a lot more money on home box office than it did in the theaters.
Mm-hmm. I think I just have seen Spaceballs more than I've seen this one.
Yeah. Erin actually saw Spaceballs before she saw Star Wars.
Wow.
Yeah. She also saw Robin Hood Men in Tights before any like real version of Robin Hood.
Not even the cartoon?
Oh yeah, she might have. I think it might have been. We decided. I think she said she saw the Fox and the Disney Robin Hood.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know that many other versions of Robin Hood besides the Men in Tights and the cartoon.
Yeah, well, she never saw the Kevin Costner one or any of the other ones. She still's never seen the Kevin Costner one. I don't think, which is fine.
Or the one with Alan Rickman in it.
Yeah, that's the Kevin Costner one, right? Yeah.
Oh, is it the Kevin Costner one?
Yeah,
I don't remember. Yeah. All I remember is Alan Rickman's in it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Kevin Costner can't even do a freaking accent, so it's like that's one of my favorites. Shit. Wow. His name is just not in my head. Indiana Jones. His dad.
Sean Connery?
Sean Connery. Wow, I couldn't get it. It was gone. His name was just gone in my head. Sean Connery. Wow, I love Sean Connery. His name was just gone. But in Hunt for Red October, he was the Scottish Russian guy because he can't do any other accents.
I'm telling you, when I saw Alan Rickman in Something the Lord Made, his English Southern accent is wild. Mm-hmm.
He's a great actor. He was a tech repair guy, like back in the early 90s before he became an actor, or late 80s actually, because I think it was 88 or 89 was Die Hard. And that was his first movie.
David Duchovny was an English teacher before he was in X-Files.
Yep. Oh God, the Mel Gibson accent. I hate her for this so much. Like she ruined, not ruined, but like it just forever fucked up Lethal Weapon for me. I like Lethal Weapon was like Die Hard for me. Like it was like one of my favorite. It was one of my favorite, you know, crappy buddy cop movies. And Aaron was like, yeah, but his accent is terrible in it. Mel Gibson, like he keeps slipping back into his Australian. I was like, what? No, he doesn't. And then we watched it and she's like, right there, right there. And she pointed them all out. And I was like, I can never unhear this now. Another actor who now I can't, like, I don't watch any of that shit anymore because like he frustrates me too much because he's a piece of crap. hearing the set stories from Community. You ever watch Community? Love Community.
I love
hearing like the set stories about how shitty National Lampoon's fucking
I know who you're talking about.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase. Hearing how shitty Chevy.
Awful person.
Yeah, hearing how shitty he was to everybody and just like how horrible he was. And then like all the stories coming out about like how he treated people so shitty on Saturday Night Live that wow, it's so late and my brain is shutting off. I can't remember anyone's names. Fucking Ghostbusters.
Which one?
Not
Bill Murray.
Yeah, on SNL, Chevy Chase was shitty to the PAs so much that Bill Murray once got into a fist fight with him because he was treating people so crappy.
Yeah.
That was probably back when he was doing Fletch.
Oh yeah. Oh, another fun fact: these guns were the design. Like a good portion of these guns were whichever movie came out first. They were either taken from Fifth Element and redesigned and used in this, or they used them in Fifth Element. These are the weird guns that Gary Oldman sells. I remember that guy. Gary Oldman sells to the aliens in the middle of the movie.
Nice.
They're from Fifth Element. That was in 1997.
97? Okay, I can't remember which one it was.
Wow.
No, don't hurt Alan Rickman.
Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. Yes, that was a great fucking character that he played. Gary Oldman, that's a great character actor. He's played so many different parts and he fully embodies them. Like I don't see him in any of them. Like he's always that character, whatever character he is in the movie. Mm-hmm. Such a good actor.
I was just talking about him with my dad the other day. I told him he needed to watch. He never saw the Batman trilogy with Christian Bale that he was into. I was like, go watch.
He's great in that. Such a different like than anything he's played too. Like so, and she's like if you watch Fifth Element and then Batman, it's like what? That's the same dude. Such like a clean cut normal guy.
I just realized that Justin Long was in whatchamacallit. I remember him from Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah.
I totally remember that, but I didn't remember that he was in. I remember him in Dodgeball, which loved Dodgeball.
I loved his character in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Oh yeah, okay. And wait a minute, there's another one here that I don't remember him. Why do I not remember him in Idiocracy?
I don't remember him in Idiocracy either. Maybe he was like he was probably like a bit character in that because that was when he was really, really young.
Yeah.
He was also in the first Jeepers Creepers movie. That was like his big break. It was like he was in a bunch of stuff before that, but like he was like the main guy in that Jeepers Creepers movie, and that's kind of like what gave him a big spring. Yeah, Justin Long. Yeah. His character in Zack and Miri Make a Porno is just phenomenal. He's like he's a gay porn actor from Hollywood, and Brandon Routh, who played Superman very briefly in the new Superman movie, Man of Steel that came out, is is his boyfriend in it, and the voice that he does in the movie is really funny. And then that same character ends up popping up in another Seth Rogen movie at some point too, which is also really funny. I forgot which one it was though. No, he pops up in a Kevin Smith movie. One of the Jay and Silent Bob movies. He's the same guy as he was in the Zack and Miri movie, except he's a lawyer in that one. He played a doctor in Idiocracy. Okay. I don't remember Idiocracy enough to remember any of it really. No, I dropped the Lunacam.
I mean, all you really need to remember is people
that it's happening now.
Yeah.
That it's quite literally happening right now in our freaking country. Yeah.
Camacho's the best. Sorry. I love Terry Crews.
Terry Crews, yeah,
he's
hilarious.
awesome.
Yeah. Terry Crews is one of my favorite actors of our time.
He was so good in that. He was really great.
Luna's decided to turn his back on us.
Wait a minute. Idiocracy. I was just why was I thinking Idiocracy, and another movie popped into my head, and it was for some reason The Running Man. Why would The Running Man pop into my head after I was watching or thinking about Idiocracy? I don't know.
Well, I mean, Terry Crews plays like Hulk Hogan almost. He's like a Hulk Hogan character. He's a former wrestler. Like he even has the long blonde hair.
Yes. Thank you for making that connection, Tom.
And there's a lot of Hulk Hogan. I don't think Hulk Hogan is in The Running Man, but there's a lot of wrestlers in Running Man.
Yes, Jesse Ventura's in it, isn't he?
Yeah, and the bald fat guy that he fights too is also a wrestler. I forgot who he was though.
Oh. Man, there are a lot of wrestlers.
There was a bunch of wrestlers in that. A lot of the people in that. A lot of the other guys in that were wrestlers and bodybuilders.
I have to check that.
Yeah. I love that they put the guillotine thing and all the little hammers that they had to crawl through in the ship too, though. I wonder what they called, like why they did that. Like, they researched the historical documents and they made the ship like exactly like it was in the TV show. Why did they think they needed to put a guillotine like booby trap in the middle of a hallway? A single mistake. Who would have thought? Tony Shalhoub is also one of my favorites. I love him so much. Monk was such a good show. There's a movie with Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick that's really, really funny. Sam Rockwell plays an assassin.
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, he's the red shirt guy that's in this that is afraid he's going to die all the time.
The one who is worried about
Mr. Right.
Mr. Right, that's it. Really funny. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Mr. Right. Narok Taroth. Oh, there's an old school reference coming up in a second. See, is anyone a Westworld fan? Like old school Westworld? No. Okay. There's a reference in this. There it is. There's like, why did they think they needed to put this in here? Like the reason why I feel like I really liked this movie, like when I was a bit younger, like I gravitated toward it, not just because it was a fun movie and like the parody stuff, but like the nerds that go to the convention are yes, they are a little bit of there's like a little bit of a parody to them, but they're not the butt of the joke, and they actually like become useful, and like they give them like you know like a good part, and they're not, like I said, not just the butt of the joke, and I liked that a lot.
Yeah, because we're useful.
Yeah. I mean, look at like these two kids, right? Being like the like, let's just say like they're the foremost experts of this show per se, that were at that convention, and now they're helping them out for real. That's like kind of like Sarah Nakamura with the Wheel of Time. Like, she was a super fan with the Wheel of Time, and through going to Jordan Con and meeting people, she ended up as the fan consultant on the Wheel of Time TV show. Like, that's the same kind of idea.
Do you guys remember a TV show, I think it was on Comedy Central, called Beat the Geek?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a trivia show.
Yeah. It was a trivia show, and there were like 2 contestants, and there were like 4 or 5 like absolute
Geeks.
nerds.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know, like experts, but like experts in like music, movies, video, something else, and then there was like a specialist who was like an expert in this other random thing. And it was some of the questions I was like, I don't even understand what you just said. But it was like, who played the backup on this, you know, 1993, you know, Led Zeppelin B-side.
I could never.
It was.
I can answer some questions like that, but not about music. None about me. I am the worst when it comes to music.
Well, that's why
Like,
you do the Wheel of Time one. Duh.
That's true.
Yeah.
Someone used oh shit, what was it?
And it wasn't, and they weren't specific. It was that vague of like, this person is just really good at music.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, specifically music. There's a show now. It's another British show that I love. Like, it's another English show that I just love British game shows. I forgot what it's called. I think it's like something expert or something like that. And basically, you go on the game show and you give them a topic that you are that you feel you are an expert in, and then they come up with questions and they ask you the questions, and you have to do that. That's nice. That's the game show. Like, a girl did that I just saw a clip of did the Critical Role and Vox Machina as her thing. Like, I would be like, oh, I would totally do Wheel of Time, and I feel like I would be okay. Oh, here we go. This is the scene. So when he got shot, he went, "I'm shot." I have a clip that I found. Apparently the writers of this movie were big Westworld fans. Where is it? This is it. That's James Brolin, Josh Brolin's dad.
I'm shot.
What?
I'm shot.
That was the reference that they made with that guy. You could really see Josh Brolin when in that profile shot that you had there for a second of him. Here we go. This is when it becomes real for him.
Mm-hmm.
The costumes are so good on the aliens. I didn't know that. That's cool, Glenn. The Westworld was the first ever film to use computer-generated animation. I'm not sure if it's Mastermind, Mike, the British game show that I was talking about. I don't know if that was it. That's fair. Rapunzel is pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lesbian nerdy's probably closer to your time in Korea. Though we do appreciate you coming out and staying up late with us.
Or early.
Or early, yeah, I guess. Sigourney Weaver really enjoyed this role too a lot. And apparently Tim Allen is like a huge sci-fi nerd.
Mm-hmm.
He actually he had a piece of the Nostromo, which is the ship from Alien that Sigourney Weaver is on. He has a piece of it in his home, and he got her to sign it after they wrapped this movie.
That's cool.
Yeah. Even people who are kind of assholes can be science fiction fans. So maybe there's still some good parts in there. Maybe he'll redeem himself one day. Look, yeah, there he is. See his hair coming out.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I feel like they probably had so much fun filming like some of these scenes. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Glenn. Like a lot of for some reason, like the sci-fi community has a large, like, non-empathetic conservative side. Like whenever I go to like fan conventions, I always steer clear of like the military science fiction people because most of them are like that. And like my experience with that is like they've not been very welcoming or friendly either to like new people. Even Star Wars fandom isn't the greatest. Like I've said numerous times that the Star Wars fandom is one of the worst.
I mean, any fandom, like, not to dissuade anybody, but like any fandom at any point can, having traversed many a fandom, like the has-been fandom can be excessively toxic. Sci-fi fandom can be excessively toxic. Warhammer can be excessively toxic. Like, it's just kind of the people that you're around sometimes.
Perfect. It's a perfect way to put it, Mike. Perfect way to put it. Though I will say the only rebuttal to my argument that the Star Wars fandom is the worst is that they literally ruined people's lives. For years. Yeah. They've been ruining people's lives. Like that kid that played Anakin, I forgot his name. Like the kid that played Anakin in episode 1 in Phantom Menace, they ruined that kid's life.
Well, they ruined the guy who played Jar Jar Binks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they ruined his life too, but he was an adult. Like, I'm not saying like it was okay to ruin that guy's life and make him want to literally, like he's talked about it, want to commit suicide because of the death threats and horrible things that he would get. Yeah, Jake Lloyd, that's the kid's name, the kid that played Anakin. But like that kid, because of all the shit that he got from that from that, he never recovered. Like he became a drug addict. He was like not good, like as he got older, because he would receive death threats from freaking full-grown adults and like horrible people would say horrible things to him just on the street and stuff.
Can you imagine how bad that would be today? Because like social media still wasn't like as prevalent as it is now. It'd be awful.
Yeah. Ahmad Best was Jar Jar Binks, yeah, and then Kelly Marie Tran most recently, and John Boyega.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen too.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like they fucked his career up for a long time, and he was a decent actor. Like I don't know if anyone's ever seen Jumper. Like came out pretty close after.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed Jumper. I thought Jumper was cool.
It was fun.
Basically, there are people that are born that can teleport randomly if they want, and Hayden Christensen was one of those people.
Wasn't Samuel Jackson? Yeah.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson was like the group of people that hunt them.
I totally forgot about that. That was I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad that he's having a resurgence with this new Star Wars stuff. And like he gets to go to these conventions now and see a group of people that grew up on the prequels. Like, you know, the reactions that he got were the fandom that grew up on the original trilogy. And now the fandom that he's interacting with are a fandom that grew up on the prequels as their Star Wars. And those people appreciate him and love him, and like getting to go to these conventions now and receive that love and admiration was really beautiful to see. Like the last few years that he's been involved with it, he actually like broke down and cried at that first Star Wars celebration that he went to in Europe a couple of years ago, and it was really nice to see him like happy with that, because like I'm sure he had a lot of negativity from that too. Yeah, you know, so like the technology in this is so much more advanced than Star Trek 2. I was recently watching Deep Space Nine, and like their what do they call it? Beaming, like when they teleport on and off the ship, they were doing it like interstellarly, like across the galaxy, and that was something that they never did in Star Trek. Jake Lloyd. I was also Arnie.
I was just thinking about the you were saying the fandom. You know, I really loved Stargate SG-1, and then I loved Atlantis. Like a whole bunch of us watched it together, and we really had fun with it. And I think you were the one who told me, Tom, about all the the fandom being what it is. Yeah. And then I had to talk to other folks about how that all worked. And but I kind of grew up watching it. I mean, I loved it. We binged it when I have all the DVDs for it and things like that. And and then I went to a couple of conventions, and I was like, oh okay. But it's funny because if you like hang out with I went to a DragonCon once when Christopher Judge was there, and he's like if you're going to hang out with Christopher Judge or see Christopher Judge, he is absolutely not, listening to any of the nonsense. He's there, representing, the show, but also actors of color. And he's really, he's awesome. I just think Teal'c is such a hilarious character, and she just does him so well.
And he's now the voice of Kratos, and people are petitioning, like for the new God of War games, people are petitioning for him to be Kratos, and Amazon is doing a live action version. They want him to play Kratos, and I also want him to play Kratos.
Oh, so that would be amazing.
I really hope they cast him as Kratos.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I really enjoyed that. That was 10 years of that, and then the spin-off which went to Atlantis, and then the folks in Atlantis. I thought it was all fun to watch and enjoyable. And but if when I was thinking of like 1999 and special effects, the two things that came to mind were Stargate and Buffy, believe it or not.
Buffy, yeah.
Because
I'm glad they're rebooting that.
Oh, is it official? Are they actually going to do it?
Yeah.
Yep. Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be involved, both acting and on the back end, like she's an executive producer and stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and Joss Whedon is not involved.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. It's still in like the early development phases, but it's being developed.
Yeah, I think it was just
released any information on it.
The beginning of this year, like it's very
in January.
Very early, yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be a continuation of the story. It's not like they're not like retconning the stuff. They may retcon some of the ridiculous storylines, but it's going to be Buffy, years later. She's probably going to be like an elder, whatever. Oh, we lost a crystal. Slayer. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. She's going to be like, what's his face? Not Jarvis. The librarian.
I know. I was so sad when I saw that she passed away. Michelle Trachtenberg. I loved Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yeah, that was very sad.
All that. Like I used to watch her on Nickelodeon back in the day. She was one of my favorites.
Were you talking about? I just realized you were talking about what's his name, Giles. Anthony.
Yeah, Giles.
Giles. Yeah. Yeah, Giles was great. Giles then went on to do. Anthony Head went on to do the TV show Merlin for a few years, and he was. I
loved him. He was
Merlin. He was Uther Pendragon, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. And then he was on that other weird show with like angels. Do you guys remember that? There was a weird show with angels that he was in. It was like a post-apocalyptic world where angels ran things. Oh, somebody on this chat has to know who it
I
is.
remember. He was. I know he was in Ted Lasso, and I love Ted Lasso. So
I loved his character. I think I told you guys this one time. There was
Hello
probably
Ripper,
one of
is
the
that it?
Hello Ripper. No, Hello Ripper is what the dude who does magic, Ethan, the guy who runs the magic store, says to him
Okay.
Yeah, when he sees him. Yeah, I totally remember that. No, it was there's a great episode with him where he's in, I don't know if you guys remember this. It's the second season with Rubia Lamort, who plays the Jenny, is it Calendar? And she becomes like his new love interest, and it's when the bad dude in the show ends up being like, he's a demon that gets scanned out of a book and comes to life.
Yeah.
So and then whatever, they lock him back up at the end, and there's this great moment where Jenny Calendar looks at him and says, what is it about computers that you have such a problem with anyway? And he goes, well, it's the smell, really. And she goes, Rupert, computers don't smell. And he goes,
they absolutely do.
That's the point. Well, he's like, when you grab a book, and of course this goes into my nerdiness of education.
Oh, okay. I see.
Right?
Yeah.
When you grab a book, it's made of like tangible.
There's a tactile sense, not just smell, but the feel. Yeah.
Yes. And it has a scent which elicits so many connections and memory. Probably the most powerful scent of recollection. Right? Sense of recollection is scent.
Yeah.
And so he was saying that, and he's like, I'd just rather have a book. And I used to give that exact same thing when I memorized it to my students. Every time they'd be like, I just need to use my computer. I'm like, get the damn book and open it up and read the. You don't need a computer. I'm like, just read the book. No, I need to type it. I'm like, you don't need to type it. You want to write it, write it. You don't need to type it. No, I need to type it.
That's fair. I mean, well, so like for me, I don't physically write things. Like I avoid it at all costs because my dyslexia is bad. So like it's easy to delete and do it, but if I have to physically write something, like half the time I'm like trying to correct misspellings and stuff, and it's very frustrating. And then I lose track of what the fuck I'm doing half the time.
Oh no, these guys are
I was able in school, like when I was young, I was allowed to use word processors to do my typing because of how bad my dyslexia was. And like my teachers, because then we could sit and like, obviously they didn't have spell check and stuff then, but my teachers could sit with me and we can correct the spelling on the things without having to like, completely X out half the things I wrote on a piece of paper.
No, I wish and that's the best part about it is like, I always tell my students, please, yes, if you need it, use it. But then of course, 23 out of the 25 in the class are like, I need to use it. I'm like, that's such no, you don't. Because they want to play on Facebook and not Facebook. Wow, did I totally just date myself there? Oh my god!
You didn't say MySpace, so
yeah,
Friendster. I still use Facebook. It's fine.
I should have just been like, hey, you guys on MySpace?
Yeah. I like so what they were gonna do originally. So you see how like they revitalized the show now. So like what they were gonna do originally was jump right off from this and make a new show. And it was gonna be a mixture of the actors making the show on and the actors getting like taken out into space and having to do real space shit. That was the idea.
Oh
of the
wow,
show.
that would have been cool.
Yeah. but obviously that never got to happen. All right, so I'm gonna stop playing in the watch party. It may keep playing for you guys if you want to watch whatever. I think it'll queue up a movie automatically and a random and play it eventually. But we have a little bit more show to do. So I loved this movie. Still one of my favorites. I still watch it all the time. It's on I have a list of movies that I could just watch and rewatch. Like people listen to music, you put music on in the background when you're cleaning or doing something. I do that with movies. This is one of the movies I could do that with. Do you guys do music or audiobooks or movies or what do you guys do? Music?
Yeah, it depends. I'll do audiobooks. I usually don't do movies. But yeah, audiobooks, podcasts, playlists. It depends on what I'm doing and how I'm feeling.
That's fair.
At that moment.
I have a couple of weird playlists on my Spotify. One of them I actually shared with everybody, which is the Avatar, The Last Airbender lo-fi music, which is really good. It's really nice to just have on as ambient music. And then if we have any old school Sega Genesis gamers, the Toe Jam and Earl soundtrack.
Oh, that's so funny.
Listen, Toe Jam and Earl had the best freaking soundtrack of any video game ever, and I'll fight everyone that says it. Obviously, Final Fantasy music is freaking gorgeous. I love Nobu Uematsu, but the Toe Jam and Earl soundtrack, if you've never played Toe Jam and Earl, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Just Google Toe Jam and Earl music. It's freaking phenomenal. I love that. It's I'll be in my garage doing shit and my garage door open and Toe Jam and Earl blasting in my neighborhood because I'm a weirdo. Jet Set Radio. Oh, that's funny. Okay. All right. So normally what we do at the end of our shows is we interview our guests, but both of our guests have done our Inside the Dragonmount studio interview. So we're going to be interviewing Crystal, which
I've
should
been
be fun.
thinking about these questions for a long time, a very long time.
I'm sure. So Sargon, I'm gonna send you a copy of the questions so you can participate too, and I'll text them to you. And what we'll do is we'll each take turns asking her one of the questions. So we'll do that in a minute. But first, we need to announce what show won and what we're going to be watching starting next week, because that's a thing that we're doing. But first, the big news out of JordanCon is obviously next year's JordanCon. So I want to share that information before we get to our next show. So the Tenchi Con, which is fantastic. Nice. So always, it's always a Wheel of Time, overt Wheel of Time theme. But for those who have not been to JordanCon, JordanCon is a fantasy and science fiction literature convention with an overt Wheel of Time theme. So there are multiple tracks. Wheel of Time is just one of them, but it is a through and through pretty heavy theme to Wheel of Time. So their guest of honor is I'm not even going to P. Jelly Clark is the author. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, and I'm terribly sorry for that. But I have seen this book, A Master of Jinn, and people have told me about it, and I want to read it. Their artist guest of honor is Sarah Felix, and then my girl Alexandra Hill is the Toastmaster. If you don't know, if you've ever been to JordanCon and have had the chance to meet our Ola, which is the name that she goes by normally, you should, because she's a fantastic person. And them being the Toastmaster next year is going to be great. So I'm excited for that. Okay, so no more preamble. Let's see what we're watching next. Andor won. So yes, it was very close between Andor and The Last of Us. No one wanted to watch Ahsoka still, which makes me sad because I love Ahsoka. Ahsoka Tano is my favorite Star Wars character, and I'll fight anybody who says that she's not a good Star Wars character. But yeah, we're gonna watch season 2 of Andor, and next week, Reverse BLT is still was still letting me hang to let me. He wasn't sure if he was gonna be able to make it next week, but Reverse, I'm putting you on the spot. You coming next week? If not, Jen Lyons, author, Tor published author. She recently is publishing a new book, self-publishing a new book, which is going to be pretty freaking cool. Let me get the link. Aaron, if Aaron will grab the link for that, so that we could share it in chat. But she's going to be joining us. Huge Star Wars fan, huge D&D nerd. We'll have a lot of fun with her. What was the name of her new book? Crap, I forgot. It's a cyberpunk book. It's going to pop up in my head. I couldn't remember any names of anything because Full Negative. Haha. Erin will share the link to the information for that for me because I love her and she loves me. Okay, here we go. We have to do our guest interview. So, I didn't make you an intro because I'm the worst person ever. I forgot. We decided to do this.
We just
like
like
la, la, la.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. I'll give you Zenobia's and then I'll just fix it later. There we go. Zenobia clappers. I love Zenobia.
She was so much fun. She was so excited.
She played Amiko on the in the Wheel of Time. She was our guest last week. She was a ton of fun. She also calling in from a late Mike. She was in South Africa calling in. So she was in Cape Town. Anyway, okay, here we go. I'll start us off and then Redfield and then Sargon. So we'll just switch it off like that and I'll ask a question of Crystal here. So Crystal, what is your favorite dinosaur?
The Dilophosaurus. Like 100. That's the guy with like the, yes. Yeah.
Oh,
they killed Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park.
Yes. And that's that's exactly where that comes from.
Yep.
And Kylosaurus was like is a close second. I also love the Triceratops, but no, has to be the Dilophosaurus.
I couldn't remember Bill Murray's name. I couldn't remember Chevy Chase's name. I couldn't remember Sean Connery's name. But Dennis Nedry, character from Jurassic Park, no problem. Right off the time. Fucking my brain is shitty. Anyway, all right, go ahead.
All right, so I guess my question is, what is your favorite word?
This one's really hard. I have to say alfresco. So I think anything you can do like outside, just it's such a fancy way to say it, like, being outside. I love it so much. Also, I think it makes, if you're al fresco, day drinking far more acceptable. So.
Oh yes, we're day drinking al fresco.
Like,
you don't know if it's an event. You don't know if it's the name of the drink, like unless you know the word. But yeah,
you could do it by a pool.
There you go.
Okay. Is it my turn to ask a question?
It is.
Yeah.
Do I ask any question I want?
No, the one that I sent you.
I did. You didn't send me anything.
I did. I texted it to you, didn't I?
You texted it to me? Where?
I texted it to my dad by accident. He's gonna be really confused.
I can ask a question. I have a question.
All right, I texted it to you.
I was so excited. I had
to wake up and be like, "What?"
Listen, you guys apparently both texted me like really soon next to each other, and the name I have in my phone for him is an S, starts with an S as well, and so I clicked on that one. Because welcome to my brain.
Okay, so, oh my god, it just came in. Damn it! I wanted to ask my own question.
You can ask both.
So, what is your? Yeah, this one stinks. What is your least favorite? What is your least favorite word? What's your favorite animal? What would you want to be? Sorry.
Okay, I'll do both.
Answer both.
So there's lots of words that like really just give me like that ick feeling, but orifice is one. I don't think it's ever sounded like attractive or just even neutral. Like orifice has always been disgusting to me. Okay, my favorite animal is that.
I'm still an orifice, yeah.
Yeah. So favorite animal, and what would I want to like? What animal?
Yeah, sorry, I meant yeah. What animal would you if you could be any animal? Which animal would you choose to be?
Oh my gosh! Can it be any mammal? Does any?
It can be any animal.
Real or fictional.
However you would like to define animal.
Okay.
I mean, my first instinct is sky bison, but I think in real life, a dolphin. I think I would want to be a dolphin and live in the, like I've had some cool interactions with dolphins, both in the wild and I guess contrived. And I don't know. I always thought being a dolphin would be
cool.
Very cool.
Funny enough, they do have an orifice on the top of their head.
They do have an orifice, and it is moist.
Oh my god!
You're welcome.
It doesn't wear panties.
That's fair. All right. What is your favorite curse word and or fantasy replacement curse word?
Okay, so it's not one that I ever use, like ever, but I think it was in the books I think it was Elaine. Sheep swallop and bloody buttered onions. Like, do you guys remember? I think that was Elaine from the books. But recently I've been reading the Dresden Files and I've actually said like hell's bells, like just a few times, like when I was exclaiming. So that's my new curse word.
I've accidentally said stars and stones a couple times when I was reading Dresden Files. I love Dresden Files.
Such good books.
Yeah.
The next two are not that exciting. So what is an everyday sound that you love?
It has to be a fire crackling. I'm even a weirdo and we'll do the ones that are on your television that like look like a fireplace and just make that like sound.
There is a movie and I think it's a Christmas horror movie and it's called Yule Log.
I've seen it. It's fantastic.
I found out about it yesterday and I'm like, I need to find this.
Yule Log.
You should also check out Santa's Sleigh.
Of course.
It's fantastic. It's Bill Goldberg as Santa, and it's a horror movie. It's fantastic. Sargon, you're up.
Yay. I have another exciting one. What's an everyday sound you hate?
So it's really like grinding teeth in general, like that sound. Have you ever heard someone grind their teeth and it makes this like squeak? There's almost like a little squeak that comes. I hate that so much.
I used to grind my teeth all the time. So yes, I know that sound intimately.
My dog that passed away used to grind his teeth really bad, and it was awful. It was a terrible sound. Terrible sound.
I stopped doing it when one of my teeth broke. That was when I stopped doing it. When I was a kid, I was younger. All right, you're up. Oh no, it's my turn.
Right? Go.
So those 4 questions are directly from James Lipton Inside the Actor Studio stuff. Those are the only ones that we kept the same as his. Okay, so the next one is, what was your either your first fictional crush that you can remember, like as a kid, and or do you have a fictional crush right now, like on a character?
I mean, so yeah, it's always Matt. It's forever been Matt, which is just this when I started reading the books. But my very first one, I thought about this for a long time. Do you remember the show Gem and the Holograms?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what was her name? She was the keyboard player, Kimber, from I think that was her. I think it was Kimber. She was the like pinkish red hair.
Yes.
She played like the electric keyboard. I just remember being really young and being like, oh. Like just thinking she was really pretty and like really cool and had a total crush on her.
I like it. They were very like David Bowie-esque. Yeah. That's funny. Yes, I did text all. I text all the questions. I sent him all of the questions.
Which version of all the like Wheel of
this
Time?
one? All of them. Okay. Okay, so we just we'll change the next 2 from Wheel of Time though, because we just watched Galaxy Quest. So let's change. So for you guys, just change the next 2 to from in general which Galaxy Quest character.
The answer is Alan Rickman. In general, which Galaxy Quest character would make the best roommate and why?
Okay, this is hard. I was prepared for the Wheel of Time questions, Tom. I'm gonna say, I mean, I just have to say Lieutenant Tawny because she's hot. Like, who could not want Sigourney Weaver to be their roommate? Like, that's
true.
just.
I'll take any Sigourney Weaver that wants to be my roommate. You're up, Sargon.
We just have the same question, but the negative. Like, I have the positive version, and you just have the negative version of the same question.
He's been getting sipped with the negative version.
Story of my life. Who do you think would make the worst roommate in Galaxy Quest?
Oh. I'm gonna say, what's his name? He has the Lloyd Christmas, Mathazar, because he it reminds me. I was prepared for Mo Gideon with this question.
Oh yeah,
so he just kind of gives me. She freaks me out so much that now anyone with Lloyd Christmas would probably give me nightmares at this point. So.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's entirely fair. I was definitely thinking that too. Captain Taggart, like he'd always be drunk and all over the place, and it would be bad.
Yeah, more like Tim Allen himself.
Just Tim Allen himself.
Awful.
It's fair. That's funny. Okay. And if you could assume any job or join any group in all of fantasy and science fiction, what would you pick? And why?
So I mean, obviously I want to avoid the Wheel of Time answers because that would be almost all of these. I think they were called the Sylvan Elves from Lord of the Rings. They were the ones that lived more simply. They lived in the woods. From the time I was really little, I have an ear. I don't know which one it is. I was born with an ear that was folded over, and it's my little elf ear. And I was so self-conscious of it as a kid until I got older and I started reading fantasy. So I've always really loved elves. So I think I would be one of the woodland elves from Lord of the Rings.
Sargon is our resident Lord of the Rings aficionado, which is that it? The Sylvan Elves, Sargon?
I don't even know anymore. What time? I don't even know what time it is.
The Woodland Elves are the Mirkwood ones, or the
there's so many. There's so many different ones that over time that I don't know. I'm going back to the Teleri and the original Noldor and all them. But yeah,
see? I told you he was the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, really.
He knows. But he's whipping out words I don't even know.
Sylvan is just right. It's just forest, right? So it makes sense. The forest elves, woodland elves.
There you go. You're gonna have a good question. You get to finish up our things, and it's a good question there. So, but next is Redfield. You get the next one.
I mean, now I get the negative. Question.
Yeah.
What or who do you think has the worst job or vocation of any sci-fi fantasy genre?
I always think of person. I think Reek from Game of Thrones is probably one of the worst, but I had kind of a little bit of a weird answer to this. I was thinking about, I love Disney movies and my son is very much in his Disney era. And we rewatched, he watched Beauty and the Beast, and to be Chip would have really been terrible in that scenario. He was a child labor, and then he was broken, so he wasn't even good. He was just told he was this little broken child. So
if you had to be one of the servants / dinner set from Beauty and the Beast, that would not be a fun.
I would not be Chip. No, I would not want to be Chip. I would want to be one of the maids, or the lady, the wardrobe. She was really fun.
The dust mop. I liked her. All right, Sargon.
So sorry, I just noticed this. Yeah, the Sylvan. No, someone would ask about the Sylvan elves. Yeah, it is real, and they are the woodland elves. And I was trying to remember also the what is it called? God damn it, the Sylvan. Sylvan is, it just means wooded. It's Sylvester, the name Sylvester, like it means like the forest, like forester or something like that. Yeah. I remember learning that from my nerd friend who's a Latin teacher. So yes, last question. Awesome. Is there a specific portrayal of an afterlife from any realm of fiction that you find appealing or intriguing enough to be true for you?
I mean, again, my first answer is always going to be Wheel of Time, because I do kind of believe in reincarnation, and I believe that like we are a life force. But I think if I had to not choose the Wheel of Time, it's kind of silly, but an interesting concept is like Beetlejuice, like just this very transactional of like you go and you have to pass through kind of the bureaucracy of like, okay, well, are you going to be on punishment, or do you get, I've always thought that was kind of interesting.
That's fun.
Cool.
You get your handbook of the recently deceased.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Very
great.
cool.
And we got to watch Beetlejuice in one of our last real nights. That was one of the things that we watched.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the new one? It was okay. I thought it was going to be like, I thought I was going to hate every moment of it, but it was like a Beetlejuice movie. And Michael Keaton, really just anything Michael Keaton does. I love that man so much. He's so funny. He's a sick bastard. He's just, yeah. If you watch any behind the scenes stuff with Michael Keaton, it's just, he's constantly like ad-libbing and like just so funny. Like he's just so funny, so quick too.
Is he a decent human, right? He's not done anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not that we know of. Like he's yeah. If it came out like Terry Crews was a bad person secretly, or like one of like these like the many actors that are still good people, I would like be like heartbroken. But anyway, thank you for answering our fun little questions finally on camera. And Sargon and Redfield, thank you so much for staying up late with us and watching our movie. What are you doing? Where are you going to be next, Redfield, for the con? You're going to be.
So I'm only doing 2 cons this year as a guest. Okay. At the end of May is Philly Fan Expo, which I will be a guest at and judging their qualifier, which is the Liberty qualifier. And then for cosplay, yeah, like their craftsmanship competition. And then the last one I'm going to is in August in Gettysburg. It's Key City Steampunk, which is very Jordan Con-esque. It's a very tiny convention. It's very like not family oriented, but like the people who go there, they go there and they've gone there for like 10 years. They've gone every year. Awesome. It's very adult. Like I remember last year, Saturday night, they just set up like a giant hookah bar and we sang Has Been Hotel songs and we all just like,
that's awesome.
Had liquor and like did our adult thing. But yeah, it's a good little convention in Gettysburg. So I guess I'll be in Pennsylvania a lot this year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I posted the link to the Philly Fan Expo and to the Key City Steampunk Con. So if anyone's in the area or wants to go to them, make sure to say hey to Redfield there. And if anyone wants to enlist in Roger Williams College and take one of Sargon's classes, you could take a class where where he uses Lord of the Rings and or the Wheel of Time to like teach folklore and history. Is what you were doing in the last one, right?
If you're not going to Key City and you are in Boston, Boston Fan Expo is the same weekend as Key City.
Oh, okay. So you won't be able to do a panel together this time because you'll be in Key City. Okay.
Fan Expo is 8th through the 10th, right? Yeah, August 8th through 10. I'm hoping
doing a panel?
So I pitched it. Hoping they're going to do. I pitched the last 2. I've done Lord of the Rings, and I brought 2 of my buddies who are Irish. They play Irish music. They have a band. One's an a cappella singer, and they both play in a band as well.
That's amazing. And, I love that.
Yeah. So last year we did a cool thing where they sang like old Irish songs that were connected in some form or fashion to like Lord of the Rings stuff, and it was really fun. they did a nice rendition of like the Foggy Dew and some other really cool old Irish battle songs.
Cool.
So it was really fun. We had a good time. I'm hoping to do it again this year. So that'll be fun if we get to do it. And it would be awesome because both Orlando Bloom and John Rhys Davies are supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So if they're there, it'll be great because like the last time when the 4 Hobbits were there, I mean, we had probably like 350 people in that room.
Wow.
That's so cool.
So it was
It'd be
very,
cool
very
if they
cool.
peek in and like go, hey, what's going on in here?
Yeah, that would be awesome. So yeah, looking forward to that. Otherwise, yeah, you want to come take a class with me in the fall? I'm actually teaching The Hobbit, and doing the history of Tolkien and The Hobbit, the annotated Hobbit version, actually, which will be fun. And
cool.
yeah, I'm taking an animal studies class too. I'm teaching like sacred places and animals, something like that. So.
Oh yeah, I always forget that you picked up your animal stuff. You have did you get a doctorate in that or was it a master's?
No, just an MS. I have a master's of science, and yeah,
just a master. I just have all these. It's just multiple degrees that I have. Come on.
They give them to you these days.
A lot of schooling now. They give them to you for nothing. Shut up.
It is.
Listen, you got a big brain, and we love your big wrinkly brain. Okay.
No, there's not much left. I do it because I love animals, and it gives me a chance to. It's kind of like why I do the fantasies. Like, yes, I'm teaching, but no, the animal studies class is awesome, and I'm lucky enough to be able to teach it, and.
Or something like that. Mythical animals or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to give you the syllabus, but I need to write one first. And
you should share it with us. Maybe we could take the class like alongside you and see if or Rapunzel maybe will at least. I never was good in school.
It's more fun.
I don't need you scolding me. I don't need you scolding me too. Though I may enjoy that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we'll see everyone next week. We hang out with Jen Lyons and our buddy Reverse BLT, and we're going to watch episode 1 of season 2 of Andor. So if you haven't caught up on Andor, if you haven't watched it yet, make sure to go watch at least, we're going to spoil season 1. So if you haven't seen season 1, but at least, be caught up on at least episode 1 of season 2 so that we can, we can rewatch it together and talk about it. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I love all of you awesome nerds. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, both all of our viewers and our lovely guests. And with that, say goodnight, Crystal.
Good night, Crystal.